G'day Teacher Geeks, this is my last video for 2021 before we go into a December, January, Christmas break. When you see me next, I'll be in a new office, a new study, and my end of year gift for you is possibly just the best advice I think I can give any teacher, which is rule your own empire. I say this again and again and again because lots of teachers are asking for me and other experienced examiners and people who are doing the assessments saying, what are you looking for? What should my kids be doing? Now, I know what it's like to try to be, to not understand fully or to not feel confident in assessment objectives, especially when you're preparing students for external exams or standardized tests. It can be really daunting because you want to do the best job possible, but you're not fully confident. Don't second guess yourself. Rule your own empire. Set your own standards. Mark to your own expectations. I made the mistake a few years ago of trying to guess and predict and figure out what would an examiner want until I realized that all examiners are different and everyone who's going to be assessing my students' work is probably going to be looking for something different. We all have our own peeves and quirks and idiosyncrasies and things that we look for and things we like, things we don't like. Should a kid have in their essay, in this essay, I will? Some would say it's fine. It's a very normal standard thing to do. Other people would say, I hate it, don't do it. So who cares? Rule your own empire. Set your own standards. When I started doing that, and I started before I would give an assessment, before I'd given a test, I figured out exactly what am I looking for, how am I going to grade it, what does high achievement look like, what does low achievement look like, what does a fail look like, what's a pass look like, and I set that standard in that criteria based on the criteria that were given to me by the IB psychology course that I'm teaching. Once I did that though and said, okay, here's how I interpret the criteria, I was so much more confident in my marking. I was so much more confident in my teaching because I had direction and purpose, what standards I was teaching towards. And also I gave students far better feedback and they felt more confident in my teaching. I suddenly saw a massive reduction and a complete elimination of students using resources that weren't the ones that I gave them in my course, right? Before I was marking to my own expectations, I would get this content and information. I had no idea where it came from. They obviously were just using Google because they didn't have faith in my teaching. So rule your own empire. Now, I know for a lot of people this can be really tricky, and I'm talking from a very privileged position of having had complete autonomy over my own classroom for the last 10 or 11 years, which has allowed me to just completely delve into my own ideas and probably put my head up my own ass. But I think if you can do that as much as possible, right? Rule your own empire, set your own expectations, teach to your own outcomes, okay? Take back control of your content. So I'm about to go into a new school, a new curriculum, and teach to assessments that I've never seen before. But I'm going to have the exact same policy. I'm going to rule my own empire. I'm going to set my own expectations based on the rubrics that I'm provided, plus my own 3 levels of learning, right? Basic, descriptional, building blocks, right? Knowledge, understanding, application, and then critical and creative thinking. And so I know that if I mark to those standards, my students will perform very well. I'll be able to give them very good feedback and I'll be more confident in my teaching. And you know what? If I make a mistake in the first year or two and I realize that I was marking it wrong or that I wasn't looking for the things or there are particular things that they are looking for or I can improve, it'll come. I'll get better. I'll mark better. I'll understand the assessments later on. But the worst thing I can do is second guess myself. The worst thing I think I could do would be to try to ask forums and questions and say, what are you looking for? What do you want? Because they're all going to have a different answer and different opinion. And it's going to undermine my confidence. And confidence, I think, is key in being a good teacher, right? So my best advice for you, my parting gift for 2021 is rule your own empire, right? Take control of the things that you can control and don't worry about the things you can't. It's a secret for success and having less stress. Thank you everyone for your support so far and best of luck in next year. All right.